Hey everyone, welcome to February. This batch of Prime Gaming games consisted of 2 platformers and 3 couch party games, I would call them. So let's get into it. Before I kind of continue on, the Twitch app actually redirects me to the Amazon Games app now. So they're making a move for you to get your games through there. I'll have a link down below to get that. It's more just focused on the game library they have from Amazon. I'm kind of believing that they're just going to try to take it out the Twitch app, which is understandable. It's weird to go through the Twitch app to get it. So that's some news there that you're going to have to get the Amazon Games app in order to download these games. Continuing on, I still played it through the Twitch app for this month because I already downloaded them. So I'll probably switch over next month and try that experience, but it looked pretty similar and nothing bad there. First game we got coming up is Monster Prom, which came out in 2018. Metacritic score is 73. Looking about an hour gameplay and about spending $12 if you bought this regularly. And this is a dating sim game. You're in this monster high school, and basically the goal is to try to get a prom date in a couple weeks. The game is based around this quick mode or full game, which is about half hour or hour to complete, so relatively short. And where the core of the game is replayability. There's multiple secret endings and trying to go out with every single character. So you have a nice replayability. The graphics are cool for this dating sim. Obviously there ain't much animation, but the characters kind of look cool. I like the art style they had. The humor was where I was on off on this. They have a lot of drug references and just weird twists in there and just joking about parties and all. So it felt like a weird late teen adult game. And I'm not sure how I felt about that time. Sometimes it was funny and made me chuckle, and then sometimes I'm like, it went over the top, but that went bad. The interesting part here, it is multiplayer, so you could take turns with people. The free version does have the online. It's more the couch play style. So you could take turns, and it's about an hour, so you can just play the game for an hour. You know it's not going to go any longer. And I think that's where the game stands out more. Playing it single was kind of okay, but I will still say download this. And basically the pro here is if you want to try a unique experience with the dating sim, that's multiplayer. The con is it is a dating sim. I express my feelings on them unless it's Doki Doki. I haven't played many others and didn't have great time with it. But other than that, yes, I would say try this one if you are interested. Next up, we have Spinch. I hope I said that right, which came out on the PC and the Switch in 2020. You're looking at about 6 worlds here, depending on how well you are with a platformer game. And there was no reviews constant enough for this one yet, and you're looking at $15. And this is titled a psychedelic platformer. No, I did not make that up. That's what they actually have it listed as. And it's a different kind of platformer. The story here is this monsters kind of take your family, and you're like recovering them back, but there's no other in-depth on it. And this is a great throwback to them old platformer games. The controls were really smooth. I enjoyed them. They did have some of the effects that I didn't care for too much in the old games. For example, there's this sliding thing. Like when you jump and land on a platform, you slide a little bit before you can stop. That's reminds me a lot of that. It wasn't terrible. It didn't feel like I was on ice like some of the older games. So I did like the balance, and the controls were really solid. The levels were very, very interesting, to say the least. They were very bright, and just the stuff you did was cool, and I enjoyed the aspects they brought in. There was no real story, and the biggest negative to me was the color of the game. It was very bright and a lot of colors where actually my eyes did hurt on PC. On the Switch, it might be a little better because it won't be as bright, but playing on my monitor, I really had to actually stop playing a couple times for this review because my eyes bothered me that much. And you're getting some of that here. There's a level where they drop bombs. I'm not going to show too much of that because the screen does flash white a lot. And that is really the biggest negative I've had on this. I like the weirdness of it, but overall, I would have to say not a download. The pros here is it is a psychedelic platformer, so you get that little difference, but they did stick to the old school method, which I really liked. The con here was literally just my eyes. If you have problems with other video games before playing this, you may want to stay away because it's going to bother you. Or if you are interested in this, maybe check out the Switch version. Maybe that will be a little less on your eyes than playing on a monitor. Next up, we have Swimsanity, which came out in 2020. And again, there was no reviews. And this doesn't really have a time limit because it's kind of like a battle system game, or you play between like 5 levels in single player. So you don't have a set length here, and you're looking at $15 if you bought it normally. And this is a party shooter game, I would call it. If you ever played Towerfall, this game's kind of similar to that if it was multiplayer. But you're kind of a scuba diver that gets these power-ups. So it's a different twist. You're not a spaceship this time, so I kind of like that. And since I was unable to kind of play party since I'm playing the game by myself, I did the quote-unquote missions, which there's a giant creature in each one, and basically you gotta get to the end of the level and fight them or escape them, and you kind of just repeat that. So it was interesting there. I didn't mind the design of the levels or anything, but it did get old fast because of that. I think the game would shine a lot more with multiplayer. The graphics were weird. I don't know by looking at this, but like the bosses I thought looked really cool, but like playing the game and interacting with some stuff on level, everything felt very solid and stiff. Like you would just bump into something and you would just stop. I didn't feel like my character was as drawn out. And that was the other aggravating thing, was the level was designed to get you stuck on stuff because most of the bosses were one hit and you're dead. So it was like you couldn't go through things. There is a teleport mode which you can go through, but it did feel clunky there, and that's where a lot of my problems with the game was. So I would say a not on this one. Pros here would be if you do want to like a party game where you do kind of a co-op or versus and play that and do adventures, this would be the game for you. The con here is there's other games out here that I enjoyed a lot more. Towerfall is going to be the one I'll bring up a lot. Which I think those games probably did the genre a little bit better. But this one's free, so if you did like Towerfall, I would say get this if that's in there. Next up, we have Table Manners. Came out in 2020 as well. Looking at about 4 hours of gameplay here with a Metacritic score of 51. And the price is about $18. And this is one of them hand simulators. If you've seen Surgeon Simulator or Hand Simulator, you kind of get the style of this game. So the concept here is you're on one of the new social media dating apps, and you gotta swipe left or right, pick your date, and take them out to dinner. And on your date, you have tasks to complete in order to have a successful date. So this is a lot similar to all the other hand simulators. You use your mouse to move the hand, turn it, grab, stuff like that, and use W and S to move up and down on the Y-axis plane. It did simplify the controls. A lot of the other hand simulators, you control like all the hands. So usually your keyboard's for each finger, and the mouse is for the rotation of the hand and all that, and you could switch between. This one you only get one, so it did make it easier. Grabbing items were a lot easier than in them other ones. My complaint here was that the tasks were kind of annoying. Like, it was cool to do it at first, but then it got repetitive very fast. I kept always having to feed them a brownie, which was just weird after a while. And that kind of led to boredom on it, which I would say not a download on this one as well. The pro here, it was taking that genre, which a lot of people hate playing. If you watch when Terry and I played the hand simulator on this channel, there's a lot of frustrations there trying to get the controls. This made it easier. So if you thought that, you may enjoy this game. The con here is I think there's other simulators out there to try that were relatively cheap. Surgeon Simulator goes on sale a lot now, which if you're interested in that, you could get that. I think I picked it actually up on the PS5 for like $2. So last game is Stealth Bastard, which came out in 2012, got a Metacritic score of 80. And we actually played this game before in May 2019 series of the free games that came out on Twitch. Or Prime Gaming, I'm sorry. You're looking about 6 hours gameplay, and it's $10 normally. And this is a stealth game which was really amazing. I'm just showing clips here. You get power-ups to help fight against the like turret guns that are waiting for you and stuff like that. And overall, this was a smooth platformer that took the stealth genre into it and made it exciting. So again, I stand by what I said in May when this game came out, and that's a download. Pros here, it's a unique take on the stealth games. Con, it's going to be the stealth game problem again there. If you hate sneaking around, you're not going to like this. So that's all I kind of have for February. These games were a little on the shorter side. I didn't feel like we had much in depth. Once you kind of saw some of the games, you kind of knew what you were getting into, and nothing really changed on that. I did only recommend 2 games this time, the stealth game and the Monster Prom, just because I never played a multiplayer dating sim, so that what gave it a little leverage. The platformer I think would have been really good. I would recommend checking that out, even though I said not because it did bother my eyes. If you like platformers, I would at least try it. And I think that's a really good game that just has that barrier. That's kind of the problem. So hopefully you decide to like it or not. Let me know in the comments if you disagree with anything. And also check out our other videos on the channel. And peace, and see you next month.